Hey, your buddy Zach First Night, back with another Movie Matters Monday. I know it's been like about a month since I've done one, but honestly, I've been working a lot. I've been busy personal life, but also at the same time, I'm kind of running out of shows and movies to talk about that's currently in my collection. Someday, when I get some more of these in my collection, or if they even release them physically, I'll do some of them. But some of them have just not been ever released on physical home media. Some have in some way, shape, or form, but not as a full set. But this one's going to be for, yes, it has a feminine box art, but it's not strictly just for women, thankfully. It's a show that's good for both genders, male or female. It's just, obviously, the main character is a woman, so it's going to be her face on it. It's going to be The Lucy Show, and it's the not really sequel series to I Love Lucy. It's not canon or connected in any way of the original I Love Lucy show. It does star the same actresses from the first show, so Vivian Vance and Lucille Ball are in the show, but this time it's about Lucille Ball's character Lucy Carmichael, who's widowed and lives with her best friend Vivian, and in there she's not Ethel Mertz, she's actually Vivian Bagley. Vivian Bagley. It took me a second to remember her last name in the show. Her real name is Vivian Vance, but in the show it's Vivian Bagley. Pretty much they're best friends. They both have children, and they're living under one roof. For the first 3 seasons, it did star Lucille Ball and Vivian Vance, up until season 4, which was when the Vivian Vance was taken out of the show, and it was not fully Lucy's decision. From what I remember reading online and hearing from people, is that Lucy was kind of tricked by her publicist. People people were in charge of like her career, not in charge, but help her with the career. So pretty much recommended for her to take Vivian out of the show because they wanted her to be the star, which is kind of wrong of them because Vivian Vance without Lucy, or Lucy without Vivian Vance was just not as good. The show itself after season 3 was mediocre to me. I thought the show itself was okay, and it had another good actor who was in the show that kind of helped balance her out, but it wasn't as much as like Vivian Vance was, because Vivian was pretty much Lucy's counterpart, because Lucy's like a sneaky, conniving, kind of harsh a lot of the times, while Vivian Vance is more down to earth, more calm and sassy toward against Lucy's conniving ways, really, and they just worked well with each other in terms of acting, kind of like how, in my opinion, like Dick Van Dyke, that there's Rob and Laura, they're really good chemistry with the actors, and kind of like Buddy and Sally in that show as well. They're very hilarious together as well. As like you can't see one without the other too much because it's just not as funny. It is, but it's not the same. And it's just a really good show. Has 156 episodes and 6 seasons, and So it was black and white for the season 1, and then became color after that. And it was I prefer. It's kind of hard for me to prefer which seasons I prefer, the black and white or the color, because I do think the black and white season of season 1 was really good, not perfect, but really good, and kind of co-produced also by Desi Arnaz, which is Ricky Ricardo. From I think like a few episodes from most of season 1, I think in a couple of episodes of season 2 and 3. But other than that, it was just not as good, as in my opinion, as the original I Love Lucy, but it still has its own good episodes and good characters. Wasn't as well written in my personal opinion in comparison, but it still has some really, really good episodes. Like the most classic episodes is Lucy and Vivian putting up an antenna. That's a very iconic episode with the show, and I really, really like that one. That was the black and white season, and then the president of the bank that Lucy went to left after season 1, and even though he's also been in the original I Love Lucy as well a few times, and he was replaced by Mr. Mooney, which is a very, very good actor. I'm forgetting his name offhand. Gail Gordon. Gail Gordon was one who played Mr. Mooney, who was a really, but like rich guy who really liked to pick on Lucy because he thinks that Lucy will do anything to get money from the bank, which is true. She is conniving. She will do anything to get money. And you do feel bad for Mr. Mooney a lot. But at the same time, you could tell that Mr. Mooney's character eventually does kind of warm up to Lucy a lot. And behind the scenes, Gail Gordon was actually very, very good friends with Lucy, She actually and him were, well, he was supposed to be the original Fred from the original I Love Lucy, but he, um, since Desi Arnaz was the director, that they didn't want him to be, well, he didn't want him to be Fred. He had another guy in mind, which is William Frawley. Yes, he was a great Fred, and honestly, I can't imagine him being Fred, but it would still be interesting to see if he could be Fred. But he did play two episodes in season 1 and I think season 2, just one episode in each. He did a great job as the band manager, the manager of the Tropicana from the original I Love Lucy. Tropicana, whatever. But anyways, so my favorite episodes were definitely the antenna episode. That's definitely a great one. Then putting up a shower was another good one. Going into a popcorn business, not popcorn. What was it? Crazy Crunch business. That was the thing that Vivian made. It was absolutely hilarious. Also, when Lucy Buys a Sheep was really good. Try to remember what else. With the Mr. Mooney season episodes was one of my favorites. Was when they first introduced Mr. Mooney, when he got locked in a vault. It was a 2-part episode. It was absolutely hilarious. His first introduction was brilliant. I really liked those episodes. There was also episodes where Lucy's old friend, the Countess, would show up. And the character, she's a great actress. I think she's absolutely hilarious. I think she works well with Lucy. But it's still not quite enough as Vivian Vance, my personal opinion. But I think those three together were hilarious at that short time that they were together. But Vivian Vance was a great co-star in the show, my personal opinion. Trying to remember. Also, when Lucy Buys a Boat was a good one. That's from season 1, though. Season 2, there's also, which one? I think it was like the contact lens, the loophole in the lease. Those episodes are really, really good. I really wish they'd release like a Blu-ray set of the show one day. I'm not sure if they do or not. I know they have for the original I Love Lucy, and I want to get that eventually. And they also did it for Dick Van Dyke as well, which I want to get someday, but it's way too expensive because it was only released in 2012 and never released again. They need to do that because I think home media needs to come back. I'm going to do a video on that one time soon, talking about how home media seems to be coming back more and more with my work, where they sell physical movies still. Besides me, I still collect them, but it seems like more and more people are starting to buy them, which, in my opinion, is a great thing. But this show, really well done, really great cast members. I don't know. It's not like I Love Lucy, where almost all the seasons were amazing. There were still a handful of episodes of the original show that I didn't like, but it's only a select few. While this one had really good episodes for the first 3 seasons, and then went downhill, in my opinion, after that. There were probably some good ones in there, but I haven't really watched much of seasons 4 through 6. I probably should someday, but it's just not the same without Vivian Vance, and it's kind of hard for me to really like Lucy without her. This show was great. Really, really worth watching if you haven't seen it yet. This is an older DVD set, came out in 2016. Wow, it's almost a 10-year-old set. But it's really good. It's worth watching, in my personal opinion. If you haven't seen it, there are some free episodes on YouTube where people were able to upload some of season 1 and some of season 2, but the quality is so terrible that it's honestly hard to find a very clear version of the show that's not on DVD or even on VHS, because even VHS, in my opinion, will have a better quality than what YouTube versions of them have, because they don't have, the copyright really to even upload them. But yeah, FilmRise is able to get Dick Van Dyke on there in perfect quality. But I still prefer physical media anyway, so if you can find the show on DVD or on VHS, grab it. I think it's worth watching. The show is amazing. I really do think it's good, but definitely not as good as the original, and not as good as like Dick Van Dyke or even Leave It to Beaver and other things like that. This is definitely up there though, worth a watch. It's definitely worth a watch. If season 1 through 3 especially. Tell me comments below what you guys and girls think about this video. What do you think of the Lucy show? See you next time, and God bless.